Welcome back, everybody, to This Is My Bourbon podcast. I am your host, Perry, and I hope you have had a wonderful week. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time, hit that subscribe button, like the video if you're watching on YouTube, leave a 5-star rating and review on your podcast app of choice, of course, because it does help us out in the long run. Something like that. I don't know. I got popcorn in my teeth. My wife and daughter went to go see Freakier Friday, said it was really good. Lucy brought home some popcorn, and right before I came down, I had a couple bites. And it's still stuck in my molars. So I'm fishing it out. We are cruising right along with the best month of the year here around 10-Bit Parts. Big ass August, where it's a fun time for me to let you know that you can support the show and get a bunch of bonus content over at patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month to support the show, really, and get access to our Discord. But from $5 and up, that's where you get the bonus content. But all throughout the month of August, you get bonus content that you wouldn't normally get otherwise. Extra bonus episodes, not just limited to the stuff that we put out on Mondays and Tuesdays, but also kind of peppered throughout the week, all throughout the month of August. Some live streams, bonus episodes, merch that is currently only available for the Patreon, but will be going live for everybody else with the big ass August logo on it. I put out on Friday a ridiculously silly and fun bonus episode for a new Patreon-only podcast that I've never done before, that I hope you go and check out. But otherwise, it's just kind of a general celebration, not only of 10-Bit, but also for my birthday month, which I just celebrated this past week. We'll talk a little bit about that during What Have We Been Drinking Recently, because I got some fun stuff to talk about on that. Otherwise, though, the normal stuff. Go follow on social media. We got our P.O. Box still open. P.O. Box 22609, Lexington, Kentucky, 40522. If you want to send anything there for the show to be drank on, reviewed, just checked out, please, I'd be happy to check it out, I guess. This past week was crazy with media samples, media bottles. I'm going to be drinking on one of those and making a cocktail with it. The cocktail just is going to be for Patreon, though, so that I like to do bonus stuff just for an uncut version of the podcast that only Patreon gets. So if you want that, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast again, please go check that out. We normally kick off episodes with a segment of the show called Fly in Line, where I try something I haven't had in a while or I have never had before, I think is how that segment typically goes, or it's supposed to typically go. I got to find something, because when you run a podcast by yourself, you just kind of, things go on the fly sometimes. And here we are going a bit on the fly. I'm seeing some sample bottles over there. Here we go. I've been in a single malt mood recently, and this has caught my eye. Okay, a couple times recently. And I haven't had it in a minute. It's the Jack Daniel's American Single Malt at 90 proof, and it's just there. So why not? I don't remember this really at all. I love this media sample bottle that they sent. Is this 100 mil? No, it's 200 mil. Oh, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. For the video watchers, you get to see it. If you want to watch the video version, youtube.com/thisismybourbonpodcast. But The audio version, of course, is where this podcast has thrived for the past 7, almost 8 years. Holy moly, I can't believe it's been that long. 8 years in October. Very quickly hitting, we're catching up to 400 episodes of the podcast soon, too. And also, I want to say, too, over the next few weeks, it's going to be like guest central here on the podcast. So we're going to have a slew of guests who are just going to be on the show. And I hope you're ready for it because I am so excited. And I think you're going to have a great time with some of the folks who are lined up. Old faces, new faces. It's going to be a really good time. I'm quite excited for it. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, Big Ass August is going to spread into, probably not the best way to phrase that, but Big Ass August is going to spill into, also probably not the best way either. Big Ass August is going to, don't want to say bleed either. You're going to get a little bit of Big Ass August in September, just with the stuff that I've got lined up. Sure, why not? I don't know, a better way to phrase that, I suppose. Anyway, let's get to this Jack Daniel's single malt. Oh, only 90 proof. It smells on the nose like it's a little bit higher proof, like it smells above its weight class. When did this come out? I really don't remember. And have they done another release of this? October of 23? Really? Or was it earlier than that? No, it looks like it. Oh, it was September of 23. No, it was October of 23. Sorry. I got debated by another post of a video. Oh no, look. September 2023. I should always rely on Breaking Bourbon for this kind of stuff. Why I don't know. But here we are. Anyway. Dark red fruit. Little pineapple-y too, oddly enough. Kind of citrusy. Just overall a really, really kind of bright nose. Little floral as well. All right. Cheers. Quite an easy sipper. It's interesting because it doesn't seem to lean too far into the actual single malt notes. It gets a little obfuscated by some of the sherry, the Oloroso sherry that it's finished in. Not terribly so, but enough that you can kind of tell that there is influence from it. That being said, though, it's still a really enjoyable pour. Little grainy on the back end. Not overly so. But, I mean, it's non-age stated, but it kind of feels like it might be in the 5 to 6 year range. It's definitely above 4, I would say. But regardless, nice little treat to revisit, for sure. What have I been drinking recently, though? I will tell you right now, because this past week was my birthday week. And we have a habit in my family unit of spreading out birthday celebrations over a few days, sometimes over a week or so. And my oldest daughter, my 4-year-old, has no filter, of course, at this point. And this morning, despite the fact that like we've not really done a whole lot outside of like, one night at home and then one night at my parents', my daughter asked my wife, "Mommy, are we having another birthday celebration for Daddy?" And my wife said, "No, we're not for, a little while." And my daughter said, "Good, because I'm tired of celebrating Daddy's birthday." I was like, and I said from the other room, "Gee, thanks." So yeah, if that gives you an idea of my mental state at the moment, I'm doing great. Things are looking really good for me right now. But I cracked a bottle to celebrate my birthday. It was a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. It wasn't a pick, but it did have a dump date. Dump date, right? Where the heck are you? Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it. There it is. Sorry, a bottling date from my 30th birthday. I killed one and then I opened another because I had found a couple. Like I had found one just outside of Lexington. And I remember I opened it on my 30th birthday back in 2023. And then when we moved into our new house, I had gone to a store fairly nearby, and I found another one of these bottles. Whether it was from the same barrel or not, I'm not entirely sure. But regardless, I saved it for a little while, and then I was talking with Bridget Albert on the Served Up podcast. If you've not listened to that episode that I was on, please go do so. It was really, really fun. I had a great time with Bridget, where I was talking about that bottle in particular. And she said, "Well, you should probably crack it because who knows, when you'll get the chance to do so." And I was like, "You know what? You bring up a good point." So I opened that bottle and then finished it this week, and I had another bottle on retainer. So I opened that one too because, it's your birthday. What do you got to have something special. But then also, okay, I'm gonna, it's not really a brag. It's just kind of like the deliveries that I got between Thursday and Saturday were insane. Between that period, I had a total of, truly it was like 3 different UPS deliveries, but I got, I got like 9 full bottles, like 9 750s or liters. One of them, of course, we're going to be drinking on the show today. And then a couple of like smaller media samples. Was it 9 or 10? It was 9. And then like another media sample. And And so I'm just kind of like inundated with a bunch of stuff that I need to make content with right now. One of them I opened for Patreon. One of them I opened on my live stream. So there's a bunch of stuff that's kind of like peppered throughout content right now. But like, I'll play some, or I'll give you a little preview of what's going to be coming up soon. Next week on the podcast, I'm going to have the folks from Minden Mill on. I had not really heard about them too much until recently, but they sent a few bottles of their product over, which I'm very excited about. I tried their bourbon last night with Papa Ritter. Quite good. It's quite good. I'm very excited to talk to them about that and their other products as well. Got the Jack Daniel's Blackberry in the mail as well. Tried that with limeade. And I bet it's even better with lemonade. But just like on its own, I mean, it's a liqueur. It's not necessarily like a neat pour. But it's a good mixer. I really kind of wish I had it at the beach too, because it would have made for like a good pool cocktail for sure. And I think I'm gonna make like a TikTok or something out of that. I'm trying to like expand into more different little pieces of media for the Timbip brand, because I feel like I'm not capitalizing enough on that stuff. But anyway, beside the point. And then there was a bottle from Woodwork Collective, the A. Altschuler & Co. Line that was a blend of 10, 18, and 19-year-old Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskeys coming at 106.5 proof. Really excellent. And I shared some of that with Dad yesterday as well. Just good. It's just been a nice, kind of relaxing week overall. Oh, and we also, Lucy and I went to, for my birthday dinner, a restaurant called Tuk Tuk, T-U-K, snack shop in Lexington, which is it's like a fusion restaurant, but it's owned by a Sri Lankan woman. Excellent food. We both got a couple of cocktails. Well, I got a rye old fashioned that was made with a simple syrup from palm trees, which was super cool and just absolutely fantastic. And then I got a Hellas beer from, I guess it's technically a lager. I don't want anybody to get mad at me. From a local brewery called Blue Stallion. That was quite excellent. But yeah, I highly recommend it if you get the chance to come into town and are looking for a place to go. So if I think of anything else, I'll probably wind up peppering it in throughout the episode. But regardless, really good birthday week. I think I've still got one more little shared celebration that I'm doing with Lucy's sister Emma next weekend. But I'll probably share something special here or there with her too. So. Well, folks, we got a review for you this week. I'm very excited about it. I'm not going to lie. As you probably know, Buffalo Trace and Sazerac have released a new Sazerac rye whiskey onto the market. This one is 100 proof as opposed to 90 proof. Their classic rye whiskey that you can typically find in most markets for around $20 to $23. I think, typically it's around 25 in most places. But this one is coming out in a liter bottle for $30, which if you kind of do some of the math and talk about what the value is here, you're really not paying that much more when you consider the value for the 100 proof than you would be for the 90 proof, which I think is pretty excellent. I know that there's a lot to be said at times about how Buffalo Trace products are presented, especially in a colloquial sense. And I think that one of the things that is one of the more indisputable facts or arguments about Buffalo Trace or Sazerac is that some of their more affordable products or shelf stable products usually are priced pretty appropriately. Yes, this is non-age stated. Yes, this probably is closer to like the 4 or 5 year old age realm. But $30 for a liter, not bad. I got to be honest. This is primarily aimed at being built for those who are cocktail makers, whether it's actual bartenders in a restaurant or a bar. But the idea is that this is still going to be, it's still going to have a good presence and is still going to hold up well on its own as a neat pour. So I'm going to not just try this neat. I'm also going to try this against its 90 proof counterpart. And then for Patreon, I'm going to try this in the classic Sazerac cocktail. So all that being said, let's go ahead and prime the palate with the 90 proofer. Here we go. Good color. Classic kind of like Christmas spice nose. A little bit of spearmint. It's good. I like it. I have not had just regular Sazerac in a while. I say that like I'm, drinking Saz 18 or something on the regular. I'm not. It's just I just don't really gravitate towards Sazerac that much as a neat pour. But that being said, I typically don't really drink a whole lot of 90 proof whiskeys too much these days. On the off chance that I do, kind of like Maker's Mark. And even then, it's kind of few and far between. But I might have to bring the old Saz 90 into the mix again. But good little surprise, I will say. Just wanted to reassociate myself with that flavor profile at the very least. See if there was any kind of difference that might come about between the 90 and the 100, and I'm sure there will be. But let's get into it. Here is the Sazerac 100 proof, new from Buffalo Trace. Okay, immediately on the nose, there's more vanilla. There's more of a coffee note, too. A bit more cinnamon as well. For 100 proof, I will be very honest. It's not like, and I mean, not that 100 proof is the end all be all for the most like robust product, but it's not like it's not taking me into a different realm or anything. It's just like a very solid nose. Slight kind of buttercream. But I'm not really getting a whole lot of classic rye notes on the nose. I will say that much. I'm way more curious about what this tastes like neat. So cheers. Let's get into it. Whoa. Okay. Yo, that is a citrus bomb. Citrus, spearmint, ginger, bit of rye spice, black pepper, dare I say, towards this like earthy, almost kind of like umami thing too. That palate has no business being as flavorful as it is at 100 proof. It reads so much higher proof, and B, it reads so much older than whatever this is. I mean, I like I said, this is probably 4 or 5 years old. There are hints of a like 7 or 8 year old whiskey in here. It's not quite crossing the threshold of something like a 10 or 12 year old rye, but it is definitely in the territory of like 7 or 8 years old. This is crazy good. The finish drops off a hair. It starts to go towards more of the oak in the more of the oak influence, but overall, it's quite round. The only thing I think I would like to see is a bit more pop from the rye spice. That's really it. Otherwise, this is really really good. The nose is really starting to open up too. There's a floral note that I wasn't getting before. That that reminds me of something from my childhood, and I can't particularly pick up on exactly what it is. Is it a potpourri thing from my grandmother's house? I think it is. That's crazy. I haven't experienced that smell in a very long time, like 20 years. Okay. Well, that was nice. That was a nice little surprise. Huh. Okay. Try not to get emotional. I'm sorry. 32-year-old man's allowed to miss his grandparents, isn't he? I cannot get over the fact that this is $30 for this liter either. I'm such a fan of this. This is fabulous. I'm blown away by it. Oh my gosh. All right. Nose, palate, finish, and price. Each category is out of 5. I give a final score out of 20. Nose. 3.5. Could be a bit more. It could push itself up a hair. I think it's, it's one of those, like, it's really solid. I just am looking for more robustness. It's probably the proof that is playing against it more than anything for me personally. But I like it for what it is. I just want to really love it. I really love the palate though. The palate, and having done the 90 proof versus the 100 proof, I'm going to make this statement. And there was a lot of conversation around the time that the Eagle Rare 12 came out, where people were saying, and myself included, who is this for and why is this a product? And, the speculation really is, and I mean, this is probably accurate. I don't know if it's entirely true, but I mean, it's pretty fair to say that it's probably because they just had extra stock that was slightly older for their mash bill 1. And they said, well, let's put out a new Eagle Rare. It'll probably sell well. And I think that, like, if it's not geared towards anybody other than, Eagle Rare fans or Buffalo Trace fans, it doesn't really, there's nothing else beyond that. But with something like Saz 100 proof, which, has a consumer base or has a producer of like cocktail base, cocktails, has somebody who is going to take it and utilize it is what I'm really trying to say. Like a bartender or a mixologist or whatever you want to say. There's something more, more of a reason behind creating this. And what I'm getting at is, like, having tried the 90 proof versus the 100 back to back, I can see a reason not just for introducing the 100 proof, but maybe even replacing the 90 proof with the 100 proof altogether. Like, I think it's not only that much better, but I think it just completely, like, eliminates all reason for the 90 proof to exist. Like, I've forgotten about the 90 proof. Again, like, do I think that the 100 proof is perfect? No, I think that there still could be more rye characteristics to it introduced. But that's, I still think this is really, really good. This is a 4 for me. I was kind of leaning towards 4.5, but I think 4 is very appropriate. Finish is going to bump back down to a 3.5. Still really good. I just needed it to A, go somewhere else, and B, have a little bit more of a boom, I guess. However, this price, $30 for a liter. At one of the best affordable, hopefully readily available rye whiskeys on the market too. I know that this is going to be likely, one of those things that's, like, really sought after. I know that it's going to be, maybe a little bit more difficult to get if it's, it's Buffalo Trace. It's frustrating. I cannot get over the fact that this is $30. I want to give it a 5. I feel like it deserves a 5. I've got to give it a 5. I'm I don't feel like I can. No, you know what? I'm going to give it a 4.5. I'm going to give it a 4.5. The only thing I'm taking off for is age statement. If there had been an age statement, it would have been, and really, like, so much of this is based on just what the quality of this product is. The fact that you're getting so much value out of this for a liter bottle. It's going to go an insane distance. It's just, I when you consider the value side of the price category, really would have been nice to see an age statement on here too. 4.5. I dadgummit, really wish that the 5 could have hit, but that's it. That I'm sorry, I'm splitting hairs here. I know I am, but that's where we sit. So grand total, we got a 7, we got a 4, which brings it up to 11, and then a 4.5 is a 15.5. This is easily a recommend for me. Grab a bottle if you see it. I mean, please. Like, I think you would be doing yourself a favor by grabbing this. I don't, of course, get any money from it. This was a free bottle sent to me by Buffalo Trace, by Sazerac. Thank you so much to them for doing so. What a true honor to have gotten that. But yeah. I made a cocktail for Patreon. If you want to hear that, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast from the $5 and up tier. We don't have any barrel rings this week, but if you would like to submit one, you can do so by leaving us a voicemail or sending a text message to 859-428-8253. It's pretty easy. Anything that you got on your mind, I'll listen to it here. 859-428-8253. All we got left to do, though, actually, I have 2 things left to do. The first one is something I should have probably mentioned earlier in the episode, and I'll probably have to put something at the very top of the episode. But we have a giveaway that is only running this week that is in partnership with our friends at Bourbon and Beyond. I am going to be at Bourbon and Beyond with the podcast. If you did not know, I will be there interviewing artists, interviewing bourbon people. I will be there for some of the classes. I will be there for some of the workshops, all that kind of stuff. I am very, very excited to be coming back this year. I will be there for the entire weekend. It's going to be a great time. I think you're going to have a lot of fun if you are going. If you have not made plans to go yet, though, there is a chance for you to win passes to the festival. You can do so by heading to the This Is My Bourbon Podcast Instagram page, at My Bourbon Pod. We have I have, it's just me again, a post up with information about how you can win one of the 3 pairs of weekend passes that we have for up for free as part of the giveaway over there. You can find all the information. It's only open to American residents in the 50 states. Please find all the rules and regulations on how to enter over there. It is only open for this week. Winners will be announced on Sunday, August 17th, 2025. Once again, I just want to say thank you to Bourbon and Beyond, to Danny Wimmer Presents, for allowing me the opportunity to give away so many passes. It's crazy to be giving away 6 passes to Bourbon and Beyond. It's pretty wild. But I'm very excited for it. While I am there, if you do wind up winning, and even if you don't wind up winning, but you are still there, I'll meet up with you. I'm going to be there all weekend. I'd love to hang out with you, have a drink or two. Maybe you'll wind up on the podcast as well. Who's to say? It's going to make for a great time. Once again, head to the Instagram page. My Bourbon Pod is the actual page. And you can get the chance to win passes to Bourbon and Beyond in Louisville, Kentucky, September, 10th through the 14th, I believe? 10th through the 13th? 11th through the 14th? It's in September. I don't remember off the top of my head, okay? I'm only one man. I can only do so much. Tips and Bits. Segment of the show where I recommend things that I've been watching, reading, listening to, enjoying that I also want you to check out. This week, I got 2 things that I want you to check out. One of them is music. One of them is a movie. I stumbled upon the music of a man named Ben Chapman, Chapman, who worked recently with another one of my favorite artists, Anderson East, to produce some, I'm pretty sure it was just an EP that he just put out, but he also put out a full-length album at the end of last year called Downbeat, which I love, and I think Anderson might have helped him with the production on that album as well, which is just... I had Lucy listen to it, and the way that she described it is you take a modern country artist and instead of giving them the slop that is on the radio now, you actually give them good music to work with. And I couldn't have put it better myself, because I think this guy's musical sensibilities are so well refined. And I think he has such a knack for urban country, modern country, even into the realm of like Waylon Jennings, even into the realm of like the Steel Drivers and Chris Stapleton as well. You can definitely hear like Chris Stapleton as a pretty major influence into what he does. Merle Haggard a little bit as well in some of his songwriting, but not like overly so that it takes away from who he is as a songwriter. But I'm such a big fan, and I'll talk about this behind the scenes a little bit. Within the first few days of listening to him, I reached out to his team and I said, I got to have you on the podcast. I think that there's the perfect balance between being able to talk about music and whiskey with him, that it would work out perfectly. His current life situation, not music situation, but life situation, prevented him from being to be on the podcast. So we'll pursue that again in the future. But it was not a no. It was a very apologetic, we just can't make it happen right now, which I totally understand. And I don't know if like the reasoning behind it is public, so this is why I'm being very like cagey about the reasons behind why they said no. But that being said, though, it's within the grasp of the podcast. And I love his music. Ben Chapman, again, is his name. Please go listen to his tunes. If you follow him on social media, please reach out and say, hey, Perry from Tim Bip told me to listen to you. I just want to kind of build this like this alliance between us, because I feel like he's got so much good going for him, and I think we could give him a lot of energy and a lot of positivity behind what he's doing. That could further boost his goodwill, his music. But yeah, please go check him out. And then on the flip side of things, for somebody who does not need our who doesn't need how do I want to put this? Who doesn't need, like, I'll put it in bourbon terms, grain to glass support. We watched Happy Gilmore 2 the other night. I am not personally, and it's not like from a like personal standpoint, I don't really care. I'm not the biggest like Adam Sandler comedy fan. Like his style of comedy gets a little old for me. But loving the original Happy Gilmore so much, I was hesitant going into the second one, especially with the fact that it was a Netflix original. I loved it. I genuinely, truly loved that movie. I was surprised with how much I enjoyed it. There were moments where I was going, how on earth did this wind up as good as it did? It was fun. It was funny. It was heartfelt. It was heartwarming. Everything about it made me feel like it was a truly touching tribute to the original too. There were parts, of course, where I was like, it could have done without this. There were a lot of moments where it was just straight up flashbacks to the original. Not in like they tried to recreate portions. This is not a spoiler. It's just like this is how they did it. They didn't like recreate scenes from the original movie. They just cut in scenes from the original movie. And I think a lot of people are going into Happy Gilmore 2 having just watched Happy Gilmore 1. I don't think that they needed to do that because it's already such a nostalgic piece of film. And if it's that, well planted in people's memory, or if people have gone and done their homework already, they don't need to like splice in, the scene where the IRS guy gets thrown through the door, or, tap, tap, taparoo, like it's stuff like that. So all that being said though, I had so much fun with it. I think that like there's already been a lot of good buzz around it too. I'm not saying that like, the Tim Bip endorsement is what it needs, because it's definitely not. Like, but hopefully it's another little another little notch where you're like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Because from somebody who again is not a massive Adam Sandler fan, it's worth the watch. It's definitely worth the watch. It's one of the more toned down Sandler performances, at least. I think as he's gotten older, he's not as like, which helps a lot, especially in this case. And he was not that way either in the original Happy Gilmore, relying a lot more on like the physical comedy and everything, which this is not a massively like physically comedic movie either. But it does do a lot of justice to the original. So I recommend it. So please go check that out. Please also check out the Patreon. I froze for a second because I was like, how am I going to transition out of this? The Patreon for this podcast. It's called this is what? Patreon.com/My Bourbon Podcast. Yeah. You can support the show over there, especially during Big Ass August, where you can get bonus content all daggone month long. There's going to be a live stream this week just for Patreon. There is going to be stuff that you can only get over there during the month of August. I did a really goofy bonus episode where I was trying to find something. And the name for it made me crack up for a long time. So go check that out. From the $1 and up, the $1 and up tier. As long as you're a paid member, you have access to our Discord. You can be a free member over there as well, just showing that you support the show. But once you're a paid member, then you start getting benefits. But all that being said, though, we appreciate everybody who is a supporter of the podcast. You guys are the best. Love you loads. Have I had a new Patreon member? If so, I've done a terrible job of thanking. I don't think I have. No. Because, back when Eric was part of the show, that guy, we used to thank people with a fun little thing at the end of episodes. But nobody's joined in a while. But if you do, I'll give you a special shout out at the end of these episodes because you deserve it. You do. You can also follow the show on social media at My Bourbon Pod. You can also follow me personally at pritter1792 on all social media platforms. You can send a question or comment to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com if you would like to. Excuse me. You can find all of our apparel and merchandise at bourbonshop.threadless.com. There was a sale going on. What's today? The 10th? Up through the 12th. But if you do sign up for news and alerts through Threadless, they send out notifications for all kinds of sales that are happening, free shipping, $12 tees, stuff like that, $15 tees, stuff like that. But over there we have hats, we have stickers. It's not just t-shirts. All sorts of good stuff that you can find over on the Threadless store. It's made to order, so once you place your order, ships out within a few days. It's pretty awesome. We appreciate Threadless for supporting the show. And it supports Timbip as well. Yeah, I appreciate that. And then last but not least, I got two more things. Sorry. The P.O. Box, P.O. Box 22609, Lexington, Kentucky, 40522. You can send samples, bottles, whatever kind of stuff over there. I do appreciate it. I love getting stuff in the mail that I can, open. That's a good way to do a flying blind as well. If you want to send a bottle or a sample that I've never had, or just something you want me to try blind for flying blind, I'll be happy to do that. It's an awesome way to interact with the show, I guess. I appreciate anybody who sends stuff through the mail. But last but not least, this is the final plug, is leaving a 5-star rating and review on your podcast app of choice. When you do that, it helps push the podcast up in the algorithm of that podcast app. When you leave a review as well with words and sayings and things that you would like to say about the show. What? I don't know. I will read it out here at the end of the podcast, or maybe the top of the podcast, if you would like for it to be said there. Either way, though, I appreciate you all for just being here, for listening week after week, telling your friends to listen to the show. That's the best way to get new listeners, because it's just me these days, and I do a lot of work behind the scenes just to make this happen. A lot of late nights, a lot of trying to keep myself sane and promoting this thing. But I appreciate you guys. I love you very much. Thank you for all that you do to support this show. I will see you next week with the folks from Minden Mill. as we talk about their products and we talk about what they're doing out west to make bourbon in, multi-state, a multi-cross-national, transnational, whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll see you next week. Until then, I'm Perry, and this is my Bourbon Podcast.